we are always struggling to keep up. For example, we have built artificial islands. One of the things we've done, because we've been not so much for climate change, is because the narrow coastal strip that we build on is more or less full.
Right.
And behind it is our steep mountains with very forested, which are our water towers. But so we built as an adaptation measure, we built artificial islands. And when we built the artificial islands, because Seychelles at the time was a middle income country, we are now a high income country, we had to
Hmm.
borrow. And we built the islands above projected sea level rise, only to find out down the road when you're still playing the loan that the scientists have raised the projected sea level rise. And that actually, if you go to those islands now and you see the high water mark, it doesn't leave much before the water overtops the island. And these are the complexities that we in islands face, in that the scale of the problems as they get worse are getting so expensive that even Seychelles, as a high
Right.
income country, cannot afford to pay for what needs to be done. Seychelles is one of the leading countries, for example, in coral rehabilitation.
Mhm.
Not only do several islands now have coral farms or coral nurseries, both outside of the water and ex situ and in situ, but what's interesting in Seychelles, because the beaches are so important to the hotels, and the coral, the reefs, the offshore reefs protect the beach. What is happening now, we've been quite good at, is getting five-star hotels to team up with NGOs to grow corals. But the problem is, you can only grow corals depending on how high the temperature of the water goes. There will be corals that are adaptive, that are resilient. We've identified them. We're growing them. What people don't understand is different coral reefs have a different ecosystem, different types of fish and
Yeah.
species. So when you replace, it's like replacing a natural forest with a planted forest. Now everything changes. On the beaches, unfortunately, we are granitic, the main islands where the tourists are. We have used rock armoring, granite rocks instead of seawalls. We prefer slanted granite rocks, which mimic the motion of water going up a beach. And it's a bit of an eyesore, but it's one way of protecting, because the sand then gets trapped in the rocks. It's better than seawalls. We are trying, for example, for the water security, we receive about 3 times more tourists than our population. That's how much water we have to use. That's how much more imports we have to bring in.
Right.
And because of the water security, when we don't have enough storage capacity for rainfall, we have had to switch, for example, a very expensive form of adaptation to desalination.
Hmm.
And in trying to solve a water problem, the desalination plants so far are fueled by fossil fuels. So you increase your use of fossil fuels, you increase your emissions, which is one climate change problem, to try and solve another, which is growing water insecurity.